Welcome to the Online Success Journey podcast, your opportunity to discover and learn from entrepreneurs like yourself. This is not your typical podcast, but a place where you can get the real story and find out how real people encounter speed bumps and detours, but journey through to find success. Now here's your host for the Online Success Journey podcast, Patience.
Hello everyone and welcome to Online Success Journey. This is episode 150. Are you ready to join the clan? Today we have Joshua Lance, a licensed certified public accountant and a chartered global management accountant. Joshua's mission is to help small business owners and entrepreneurs grow and manage their businesses. Hello Josh.
Hi, how you doing?
I'm fine. I know the clan is anxious to hear your story, so let's get started with the basics. Can you tell my clan a little bit about your background, about what you did before you started your own online business?
Yeah, so I have been in the accounting field for a little over 13 years at this point. I started at a large traditional public accounting firm. I was there for a number of years. I was an auditor, which basically meant that we looked over financial statements and provided opinions on those financial statements. And then I moved out of that position to work at an ultra high net worth family office for a little bit. But I've always wanted to start my own business, and I was given the opportunity a few years later to do that. And so when I was thinking about starting what my business would be, obviously I had all this knowledge in the accounting background, but I wanted to do something different than the accounting field. And so I decided to start a virtual CPA firm. So a CPA firm that, doesn't necessarily exist on the ground, but exists in the cloud and online, and work with clients globally and helping them grow their businesses. I had a background in working with entrepreneurs during my accounting career, and so I wanted to have my firm have a focus in that area and help entrepreneurs grow and build their businesses as they do. So, part of my role in the firm is not only just doing the accounting work and the tax work for our clients, but really consulting and advising our clients on how they can grow and build their business and scale as they're doing so. And we work with a lot of online businesses, a lot of e-commerce sellers, but also all our companies that are working in the cloud. And it's really exciting to see them, grow and scale their companies as we work with them.
What a journey, Josh. Wow. What is the most dangerous belief an online entrepreneur can have?
Oh, I think one of the most dangerous beliefs is that they can do it all alone. And it seems to be somewhat commonplace when you're doing it online that you are alone, that you can build your business and you don't have really anyone around you, and because it's online, it's not like you're interacting with people on a face-to-face basis. But I think that's kind of a dangerous mentality because you need a community of people around you that help you build your business. And whether those people are in person or online, that doesn't matter. But having that community around you to support you, have a community of peers who are doing similar things to what you're doing, so you can bounce your ideas off them. I think that was really key for myself as I was building my company online, is to have other people who have done that and have had success in that, kind of guide and shape what I was doing, and be a sounding board for what I was trying to accomplish or questions that I had, because it was, again, it can be very easy when you are doing a completely virtual business to be kind of all alone on an island there, and have a lot of ideas in your head that you're not really kind of communicating out and figuring out, okay, are these good or not? So I think having a community around you of peers and other professionals, I think is pretty key. And if you don't, I think that's very dangerous, because then you're not getting that feedback or that assistance that you need or hear from other people who are kind of gone before you and then can help you as you grow your business.
Okay, Josh, I know you want to help everyone, small businesses and all the entrepreneurs, but why do you do what you do?
I have a passion for helping small businesses. For a lot of small businesses, a lot of entrepreneurs, the finance and accounting side of business is sometimes the most difficult or the hard part, the part they don't get, and sometimes can be the most confusing or even anxiety ridden, particularly if you're worried about, is the IRS going to come after me, or am I paying all the right taxes? Am I doing all the right things? And so I want to kind of, put that anxiety aside for people and help them and say, hey, we got your back. We'll take care of this area of your business so you can focus on doing what you do best. And I think that's, where my kind of passion lies, is kind of being that person who can, kind of advise them as they grow, but also kind of make sure that, everything is being done the right way and they're being compliant with the various laws and regulations, so that they can feel a little bit more peace as they grow their business and aren't so anxiety ridden of, am I doing something wrong, or should I file this tax return, or did I not file that tax return? I want to kind of take that off their hands, and really just kind of give them the peace that we got that part covered, and that they can build their business and focus on doing that.
Let's put man aside, because you've been in business for the last 13 years. How do you know you are successful?
I think, it all comes down to, what are the outcomes that you're trying to get to? And for me, my vision of success, or the outcomes I would see that are what I would believe to be successful, are having clients that, appreciate and value what I do, having people around me, people within my company, appreciate working for the company. And I think that's, for me, success. It's not necessarily financial driven, although that's definitely a part of it. But it is the kind of satisfaction of seeing, hey, I'm actually making a difference here in both the lives of my clients and of my employees. And that's what really brings, the success that I'm looking for.
Earlier you mentioned you always wanted to start your own business, but can anyone be a business owner, or are some people more out of it than others?
I think everyone can be a business owner. I think not everyone can be an entrepreneur. And I think there's a distinct difference there, in that entrepreneurs are ones who are willing to take risk and do things with, that may result in failure, but are willing to do it because they believe in what they're doing. There are a lot of small business owners who aren't risk takers. They have, they do things that are fairly risk averse, and their businesses are fairly risk averse. And so you could be a small business owner, and I think anyone could do that. I don't think anyone can be an entrepreneur, and so I think there's that difference there. But if particularly, I don't think anyone can be an entrepreneur or be a small business owner on their own. They need to have people around them supporting them. And I've seen businesses that have failed, that didn't have that kind of support network around them, and the ones that do make it tend to have that. So why anyone can start a business. You need to kind of be able to kind of build and take risk in order to really be an entrepreneur and kind of grow and scale your business.
What mistakes have you seen? Because you work with small businesses and entrepreneurs. What mistakes have you seen entrepreneurs make?
I think one of the big mistakes is being reactionary. And part of that is, it kind of manifests itself in there's kind of difference between working on the business and working in the business. And a kind of a reactionary, approach is, tends to have those entrepreneurs always working in the business and not working on the business. And I think that's a place where mistakes happen, because then you're always kind of living day to day and not thinking about the big picture of things. I think another huge mistake that businesses make and run into is just not understanding the entire compliance landscape that they fall into, whether that, if it's an e-commerce seller and it's, do we, collect and remit sales taxes, or not understanding those types of things, even if it's, it turns out that maybe you don't have that compliance burden. kind of putting your head in the sand and ignoring that stuff, I think always comes back to bite the entrepreneur, and it creates more pain later on. So just putting your head in the sand and ignoring those things, I think is always a big mistake as well. So I think those are kind of the two big mistakes I see. I think the third one I see is probably is businesses not willing to take risk. And I truly believe that, kind of profit comes from risk. And so if your goal is to be profitable, you need to take those risks. Without taking risks, you're not going to get the profit that you're looking for. And so, those don't have to be crazy risks. They can be really strategic and, smart risk, but that risk taken needs to happen.
When you talk about smart risk, at the end of the day, it's a risk. So maybe it has to be a calculated risk before you move on to that one. Wow. Okay. What have you learned from a business as a whole?
Yeah. I think, one of the biggest things that I've learned in doing this business is really kind of the importance of people. And there's a lot of online businesses that it's just one person doing it, but there are others that have maybe a small team of people. And I think having the right people around you, whether that's employees or advisors, I think is probably one of the most important things that I've learned in my time, running my business. And I wouldn't be where I'm at today without, a group of, entrepreneurial CPAs that I met online. And I wouldn't be here without other people kind of, pushing me along and saying you can do it. Also, we have a team of 8 in our company, and having our employees really kind of feel valued and empowered also, I think is really critical. And we couldn't do what we do without the team that we built here. So I think those are all really important things I've learned, that you really kind of need that team of people, whether it's employees or advisors that are helping you grow your business.
Okay. For beginners or someone who wants to start an online business, should we worry about accountancy? Because we are just starting, we are beginners, we are not like those million businesses. So when should we start worrying about the taxman coming after us? Again, I'm an accountant, so I'm biased in this, but I think it's right away. I think building that foundation of, not only just the accounting side of things, but, how you do your process and procedures and that sort of thing is critical. And it's a lot easier to do at the beginning and being proactive with it versus not doing it and then being reactive. Or, we run into a number of situations where clients come to us and it's, April 15th, and they're like, I haven't done my books last year. I don't know how my business is done. Can you help us? And, we have to recreate the wheel for them. And at that point, there's not a lot we can do from a tax planning standpoint. It is what it is. And, a lot of these businesses are really profitable and they don't realize how profitable they are. And then they don't realize how big of a tax bill they get. So I think being proactive and understanding and, getting a good accounting system in place is critical, because if you do that, all that stuff right at the beginning, then you're not dealing with these issues cropping up later on. It's a lot harder to fight those fires and issues that come up, a year, 2 years, 3 years down the line because you didn't set up the foundation right, particularly with regards to accounting and the taxes. Versus doing it at the beginning and being proactive in that area. And that will save you a lot of time and also save you a lot of money, because it's a lot more expensive to recreate things and go backwards and fix things versus getting it set up right at the beginning and then just maintaining it going forward. Our question is, we are not yet having any profits. We are struggling. We are trying to put two things together because we always beginners. We are taxes and accountancy. That is another extra expenditure when you are trying to develop yourself, go on courses and do this. And now you are telling us we need to also see the accountants first. So where does that fit? So what do you tell somebody who's listening and thinking going that way?
Well, I think, especially if you're a business that isn't making money or you have a lot of expenses and you're not seeing those revenues yet, it's still important to have an accountant or have some sort of account system in place, even if it's something you are maintaining yourself, because all those expenses are going to be deductible for you. And if you're not tracking and keeping up with that, those are tax dollars you're losing. And that's, future taxes that you're going to have to pay that you wouldn't have had to pay if you had those deductions in place and set up things correctly at the first time, at the beginning. So while I get this question a lot too, is, hey, we're just starting out. We don't have a lot of money. We want to put the money we do have into building the business or the sales or things like, why would we spend money on you? And I basically tell them, like, hey, it's better to spend a few dollars now than to spend a lot more money later when you call me in a year and we're trying to fix things and file late tax returns and do all that stuff. And it's not all that expensive to get things set up. And really at the beginning, we can, we usually help clients get set up on an account system and training on it, and then let them do it, let them handle it, and then we'll touch base with them, 3 months later, 6 months later, just to make sure everything's going all right, which really kind of keeps the cost a lot lower. But it makes sure things are in place so that they're not, things aren't falling through the cracks, or, we're not missing deductions, or we're not doing things that, can cause us potential issues later. So it's always better to spend that little bit of money up front and get it set up correctly. And even if you're going to do it yourself for a while, to do that versus to not do anything and then it becomes tax time, or it's past tax time because you forgot to file, and then we're trying to recreate the wheel, and we're trying to file late returns and deal with penalties and interest, and that becomes a lot more expensive.
You said you have mentors in your own business, mentors and coaches?
Yep, that's correct. Yep.
Okay. What is the most valuable thing your mentors or coaches has told you?
I think one of the most valuable things was when I was just starting out and just trying to figure out, hey, can I actually do this? Will this actually work? Will people actually hire an accountant online and deal with them completely virtually? I was a little bit hesitant to get the business up and running, and I basically had mentors that kind of pushed me off the cliff and said, all right, it's time for you to fly here. And I don't think I would have been able to do it without them kind of pushing me along, because it is a scary journey when you're first starting out. They're worried about, hey, is this going to fail? Is this not going to work? Am I going to lose a bunch of money? And it's very easy to say, well, I'd rather just not do it. I'd rather, just continue to do what I'm doing and not, take this risk. But I had this kind of group of mentors that said, hey, you need to take this, you need to make that jump and leap and actually do this and quit your full-time job and all that stuff. Because if you don't do that, the likelihood this is going to work is not going to be great. But then when I did do that, they were there for me when I had questions or I was freaking out and said, I don't know if I can do this. They were there kind of helping, mentoring me, making sure that, there were people there, who were supporting me and said they're cheering me on from the sidelines. So I think, that's probably the biggest piece of advice, was actually just to jump out and do it and go full into it. And then, as we've grown, I think they've continued to push me to grow and to challenge, what we're doing, and to ask questions that make us, really think, hey, what's the next step for us? What are we doing 1 year, 3 years, 5 years down the line? And are we actually thinking about that right now and planning for that? Or are we just kind of flying by the seat of our pants? So having those, I think that's really probably one of the greatest benefits of a mentor or a coach is, having them kind of prod you along and make you kind of take risks or do things before you're a little bit ready, but being there to kind of keep you, to kind of walk alongside you as you do that and keep you accountable to the goals and things you're trying to accomplish.
What is the most valuable thing you have ever given away?
Ooh, that's a good question. The most valuable thing I've ever given away, I think probably the most valuable thing that I give away is my knowledge, and the things that I've learned over time, and I have a lot of CPAs come to me. They're looking to kind of do the same thing I'm doing, and I'm always willing to sit down with them and basically kind of lay out kind of what I did and how I did it, and knowing that, they could probably pick that up and it may not work for them, but given that knowledge and kind of opening and, their eyes to what is possible, I think is probably the most valuable thing I give away. We really think of ourselves in our firm as more of knowledge workers versus providing the service. We're providing knowledge, and that knowledge, I think, is the most valuable thing that we can give, and providing that, here's what we've done, and here's kind of the best way forward from that. So that's what I think. I think our knowledge is probably the most valuable thing that we give away.
What is one thing no one knows about you, Josh?
It's one thing not known about me. I am a big home winemaker. So a lot of people don't know what home winemaking is, or what's entailed with that, and all the work that goes into it. So I think people are kind of surprised when they hear about that, and they hear that I do that on the side and enjoy doing that, because it's so far different from being an accountant. It's completely the other side of that. It's very creative, and it's much more an art, and trying to do that and kind of explain that, it's fun to see people when I say that I make wine and have a elaborate home winemaking setup. So. I think that's one thing that a lot of people don't know about me.
Do you have, I'm just thinking, if you make wine from home, do you have a vineyard around you? How do you get all those grapes to you?
I get yeah. I don't have a vineyard. I live outside of Chicago, so not the fertilest grounds for planting grapes. But usually I get my grapes from I actually get them from California or from other places in the world, and they will kind of crush them at their site and send them to me in temperature controlled way, and then I get that kind of fresh juice, and then I work my magic on it.
Wow, I was just wondering, thinking, okay, let's see if after all the PCA work, are you running around your vineyard picking all the grapes?
Right.
Okay.
I wish I had a vineyard, but that's not the case right now.
Okay, what is one thing that has contributed to your success?
Ooh, I think one thing that's contributed to my success is the willingness to learn new things and be kind of a self-starter in my own education. So I think there's a lot of particularly e-commerce is one field where there's a lot of things going on there, both from how do you build an e-commerce business and grow it and utilize an Amazon, and that was a foreign world to me before I kind of had clients start doing it and looked into it. And so spent all the time in education, like learning about okay, almost if I was going to start an e-commerce business, what would that look like, and what would be all the the challenges and pitfalls that I would have to worry about. But it's one of those things of being that self-start in education, and that's always something that I've done throughout my life is always had the knack to try to learn new things and find new things that I don't know about and learn about it, whether that's history or sciences or things like that, because I think just that kind of thirst of knowledge and thirst of learning just kind of expands your mind in so many ways and allows you to kind of see things from a different angle and a different picture.
What grounds you?
Oh, I think my family grounds me. I'm married and I have two kids. One's 5 years old and one's 1.5 years old. And, I get to work from home, so I get to see them every day and play with them every day. And I think that's what grounds me. I think it could be very easy if I was just, if I was single, to really kind of be all consumed in what I do, and while that may lead to more profits or things like that, it wouldn't lead to happiness. And having my family around, really kind of sees, okay, what am I actually working for, and what am I actually trying to accomplish, and so I think that's really what grinds me, is having my family around and really kind of seeing, okay, I'm doing all of this for them, and making sure I don't lose sight of that.
Tell us more about your CPA firm.
Yeah, so our CPA firm has been around for a little over 4 years. It's called Lance CPA Group. And we call ourselves a virtual CPA firm. So while I'm based in Chicago and a lot of my employees are based in the greater Chicagoland area, we serve clients globally. So we use all cloud-based software in serving our clients. So we look for a lot of clients that like to, do that or work virtually or work online. We do everything on a fixed fee basis for our clients. We're not charging by the hour or billing them by the hour. So we're able to kind of, craft solutions for them that are affordable for them, but also really provides them the value that they're looking for. And we really pride ourselves on kind of having that open dialogue and communication with our clients. So, it's nice when you're online is they can, contact us via Skype or, Google Hangout or email or different chat functions, Slack chats and things like that. And being able to, answer their questions when they have them and make them feel like we got them covered. And it's also super fun to be able to serve clients, not just, that's geographically close to me, but clients globally. So we have clients, throughout Europe and Asia and in Africa and South America. And so it's cool to interact with those cultures as we work with those clients and do the work for them. So, we specialize in working with tech startups and craft breweries. Those are kind of our two main niches. And so a lot of the tech startups are like e-commerce businesses, a lot of app developers, things like that. So a lot of online businesses that fall into that area. And we do everything from doing bookkeeping work, accounting work, to payroll and tax compliance. And we also do consultative work and things of that nature too. So with a lot of our startups and small businesses, we will get them set up on an accounting software and train them on it, and then be there for them as they grow their business and handle their bookkeeping or handle their taxes and make sure that everything on the accounting side of their business is running smoothly.
Can anyone join? Like if someone has been in the business for like 1 year, 6 months, do you take on anyone?
Yeah, we've taken on clients that haven't even started yet. They came up with an idea and it's like, is this going to work? Should we write a business plan? And we'll work with them there too. So we have clients that are, not even businesses all the way to, businesses that are doing, $20-30 million a year. So it's kind of a wide range of clients and wide range of, how long they've been in business. But we really like working with startups and online businesses because it's really cool to see what they're creating and what they're doing that's so new and different than what's been done before.
How can we get this program and how can we contact you as well?
Yeah, so you can visit our website at lancecpa.com. You can also contact me at my email address directly at josh@lancecpa.com. Those are probably the best way to contact us. You can also hit me up on Skype at jlancecpa. We'd be happy to answer your questions and help you out in any way we can.
So, Clan, there will be more from Josh in a moment. If you are listening on one of the many podcast platforms rather than my website and you are encouraged by Josh's journey, go to onlinesuccessjourney.com for a bonus portion of the interview. The Online Success Journey is a wonderful membership community built for people searching for the path to success. We are one big clan and you can be part of this community for free. Once you have joined the clan, click on part 2 of Josh's journey or over 100 other journeys that are available and learn how you can find your right path for your own online success. That's a wrap, clan. Remember, success is a journey. Patience and Josh.
This is not the end of the journey. We hope you've enjoyed listening to part 1 and want to be sure you know there is a second part to this and every journey podcast at onlinesuccessjourney.com, filled with even more success tips, uplifting stories, and even a bit of fun. There are dozens of episodes only available to the members of the Online Success Journey clan. Check out the website and click on Join the Clan for more information. Patience would like to thank you for listening to this podcast, and she has a free audio gift for you at her website. Go to onlinesuccessjourney.com for instant access to this gift. Of course, you know that listening to the journeys of others helps each of us chart our own path. so make sure you're subscribed to be notified as each new interview is posted. There are so many ways to stay connected to the online success journey and to listen in. And if you're enjoying the podcast, we appreciate your help in telling others. One of the best ways to share the benefit you get is to rate and review it at Stitcher and other sites by clicking the stars or completing the ratings form, by clicking thumbs up and leaving a comment on YouTube, or liking and sharing the podcast on social media. To review the podcast within iTunes, simply open iTunes to the podcast, click on Ratings and Reviews, then write a review. On behalf of Patience, and until next time, thanks once more for listening. It is our hope that this podcast will guide you on your own online success journey.